Good afternoon, folks. So today what we're going to be doing in this video is the topic based on pictorial drawing, and the area under pictorial drawing is specifically known as isometric drawing. We've previously done videos where we've gone through a topic known as oblique drawing, where we projected lines back at 45 degrees. For isometric drawing, okay, we are going to project lines back at 30 degrees, okay, to give the object an overall 3D view. So what you can actually see here is we have orthographic views of an object are shown below, where we have the elevation here, the end elevation over here, and the plan underneath the elevation. Okay, so we're given the 2D views and we have to kind of make a 3D view from it, okay, which can be quite hard and hard to do, especially when you're maybe in second year and first year and trying to get that visualization technique kind of, I suppose, honed in and those skills. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. So looking at the object here, what I would always get my students to do in class, because we're going to use this method called the crow's foot method to set up a fish tank, I would always get my students to first of all work out the overall height of the object. In this case, the height of the object is 50 millimeters, which we get that from the elevation. So I move the height over here 50. I get them to work out the overall length of the object, and that is going here. We can see the length here going from left to right. 50 plus 30 plus 30 is 110. And then the width or the depth of the object, we can see down here also on the plan, 20 plus 20 plus 25 adds up to 65. So there's our three main measurements, okay? And now what we're actually going to do is we have to work out essentially how we're going to draw it, okay? So we're given the 2D views. I would often get my students to kind of sketch out the solution first, if we can. And when I'm actually sketching it, I want to position a person. If I imagine a person around this object here in my plan view, I want to position a person in the best, I suppose, position possible, that they'll get a better overall view of the object. Okay, so if I put a person here, okay, you can see the head there and then the shoulder and the shoulder. They're looking at the object. I think this is the best position, because as they look in this position here, in the direction of the biro, they'll see a bit of this face, okay, because if you imagine the biro like that, they're seeing a bit of this face, a bit of this face, and they're seeing this L-like structure on top as well. Whereas if they were at this side, they'd only see really the back of it here. Okay, so they're looking at the kind of the front of it here, and in an isometric view. That will give the better overall view of the object. Okay, in this case, when the person looks at it though, because the lengths are going in this direction, the lengths are going to be on the right hand side of the person, and the widths are going up and down like this, the widths are going to be on the left hand side. Okay, so that's going to help us out later over on. So what we're going to do is we're going to just try and sketch in a little solution here. So this face here, if I look at that, okay, that's an edge there and it's a face. It's actually this face over here. So I know I've kind of got this little rectangular face here. It's going to be something like this. Okay, I've got a cut surface here at the side of it, so it's going to kind of go at an angle like that. It's not going to be at 30 degrees. And then I've also got a flat surface here at the front of it, which is going to be, using our 30 degrees, it's going to be going something like that. Now that's going to give us, if we think of it as like Lego blocks, okay, that's the bottom surface there, okay, without the L on it. I've kind of done this lightly here at the back because I still have to kind of put this little block section on here on top of it. Okay, and that's what it would look like if we didn't have this top surface. Now that top surface is kind of like an L at the back, so I'm going to start putting that in. So that L there is going to come out here a little bit like something like that, then it's going to go down, then it's going to go down this way and across like that. Now it has a height of 25 millimeters, so I'm going to step it up a height. I'm going to step this guy up, so it'll all be going up like that. And what I want to do is I want to connect that L again, same as I have underneath. I'll finish it off by going like this, and then I can heavy in these edges there. And that's kind of how you would actually build it up, okay? Quite hard to do if it's your first time doing it, but as I said, with more practice you'll get better, okay? So that's kind of going to be our overall solution, and here's our person then. Here was our stick person standing looking at the object, kind of in that direction, okay, looking at it like that, and they're getting an overall view of it. So we're going to try and create that now using the measurements here. So to do that, I'm going to start off. I've barely started here, and what I've set up here is what's known as the crow's foot, okay, where I do a vertical line, and from this point here I project it 30 degrees to the right and 30 degrees to the left. And I said to you, our lengths are going to go there and our widths are going to go this way. So for our lengths, what we're going to do is we're going to measure our overall length of 110. So I'll project this out a little bit further, as far as I need it. So I'm going from 0 to 11 centimeters, and my widths were 65. So on the width side, I might have to bring it out a little bit further, and I'm going to measure 65 millimeters. from the corner right here, 65. Make a little mark there. And finally then, on my heights, I have a height of 50. Just going to measure up as far as the 50. Okay, mark that there. And with that 50 done, what we're going to do is project a line at 30 degrees, all parallel faces, okay, or all flat faces, flat surfaces are going to project at 30 degrees. This one as well. Project this up. Project this guy up. Just have to extend that a little bit further right there. And what I need to do now is I need to get the top surface. So at this back edge here, I'm going to go 30 degrees like this. 30 degrees like this. And just to get it fully done. There we go. Okay, so what we did was we set up the crow's foot, and now we actually have our fish tank in place. So now what we have to do is we actually have to draw in the object. So I'm going to zoom in there now. Just position that a little bit better on the page, so we can kind of see it a little bit more clear. So I've got everything from my object is going to fit inside here. So if we bring the sheet over again, I'm going to start by building this kind of bottom platform first. And that bottom platform has a height here. And if I come up here to my elevation, I can see the height is 25 millimeters. Okay, and then obviously on the width side I'm going to measure down 40, and on the length side I'm going to measure in 50. So to complete that, I'm going to measure up 25 millimeters starting off. Move that there a little bit. So 25 millimeters to start off. I'm going to measure up on my height line, and I'm going to extend that down along here. I'm also going to extend it over here, and while I'm at it, I'll bring it along the back edge as well. So it's like I'm filling up, I suppose, the fish tank with water. That's the way I'd describe it. So that's kind of the water levels after rising the fish tank up to here. Okay. Now along the front, as I said, on the width side I'm going to measure down 40 millimeters, and on the length side I'm going to measure in 50 millimeters. So on the width side I'm going to measure 40 millimeters down here, from this point right here, mark down 40, and on the length side I'm going to measure 50 millimeters down. There's the 50. At that point there I'll do a line down, and at this point over here I'll do a line down. Now what's going to be helpful here is with those two kind of lines down I did, I need to connect the top point to the top point over here. I need a line going like that. Okay, I need to create this surface here. And to do that, I'm simply going to use my set square, project a line across like this, and a line across like this. Okay, and what we've actually created there now is that bottom platform. Okay, we just haven't heavied in. So I'll start heavying that in there now, just to give it a little bit more definition. So there's that surface, this surface, this surface. Get the lines in to complete them fully. And now what I want to do is connect these lines up as well. So here and here, and then finally I'm heavy in this back to here just a little bit, just to give it a bit of definition, and just to about here as well. Okay, the reason I haven't heavied that in the full way is simply because I know inside at the back in here I have to kind of make this little structure that has to go in here somewhere. Okay, so with the bottom platform done there, now we're going to do the top surface. So for the top surface I'm going to measure two distances along my length side of 30 and 30, and on the width side I'm going to measure 25 and 20 down here. So I'm actually going to do this along the top now. So on the top I'm going to measure 30 and 30, so starting at 6, measure back to 3, and then 3 back to 0. And then on the width side I'm going to measure from this point right here, once again I'm going to measure 25 and 20. 25 plus 20 will be 45. I could have measured it down here as well, that would have been absolutely fine. Now to make that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to project down at 30 degrees like this, and from this point here going to turn it around, go 30 degrees that way and 30 degrees that way. And I nearly have it, just have to extend this one down a little bit further. So I've actually got the L-like structure on the top now. Just going to heavy it in. Because remember, everything has to fit inside of our fish tank. So it can't go any taller or longer or wider. So there we go. There's our top surface. Now what I want to do is I want to bring that down to meet this platform. Okay? So the best way to do that is going to the outside points, bring it down to here. The same with this one. It's going to come down to here because that's where the platform meets it. Now I know where that is going to finish. Likewise on this side. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to get the detail in here. So from every point, it's obviously going to go straight down, because with any corner we're going to have 3 lines going in to meet it. Straight down, so it might go a little bit further. And what I need to do now is project it 30 degrees. So this one went 30 degrees this way, it's going to be the exact same underneath. Then it went to 30 degrees the other way, so turn it around. Then it went 30 degrees down this way, once again, flip it around. And finally 30 degrees back up to meet here. And if I'm accurate, they should meet up. And there. Perfect. So once again, heavy the detail in. So what I often do is I do all my 30 degrees lines going in one direction, vertical lines, and then turn it around to get your 30 degree lines going in the opposite direction, here and here. And there you have it. There is our isometric drawing done of this object here that we were given the 2D views for, okay? And you can see here, very similar to the sketch, okay? So once again guys, hope you found that helpful. That is that question completed.